And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Rickner, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic.
That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Hump Day. I hope you guys are all enjoying your Wednesday. I hope it's a positive and wonderful one for all you guys. It's been a good one for me. You know what I'm saying? Sorry for a little bit of a late start. It's been a little bit of a crazy morning to begin with, but I hope you guys are all having a wonderful one. It's Wednesday. Yeah, man. We got one more day. One more day after this day, and we are going to be free. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. So I'm very, very excited because, it'd be nice to get back on the old trail, back in the old shoes. You know what I'm saying? Back in those old running shoes. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely excited about that. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Wednesday, a great morning. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a gang of stuff to talk about. And it's a sprinkling of all kinds of different things. We gonna laugh today too. I'm gonna say that too. We gonna laugh. So be sure to loosen up your pants. You know what I'm saying? So you don't. I don't know why I said loosen up your pants. Why did I say loosen up your pants like they're gonna eat some really good food or something like that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Never mind. Anyway, hopefully you guys have a good one. Get ready to relax, enjoy yourself, and have a good conversation today because there's a lot of wacky stuff that I have seen that we are going to be looking at, and there's a lot of wacky stuff just going on today. You know what I'm saying? Siri, you know what? Siri said, wait, we were supposed to wear pants? That's a good question. You can wear shorts. You can wear jorts too. I'll even forgive you if you have jorts. Jean shorts. Ugh, I hate jean shorts. Anyway, if you got jorts, hey man, rock them. I'm not throwing any judgment. You know what I mean? So anyway, hopefully you guys are all out there enjoying your time, enjoying this wonderful Wednesday afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you're watching this show right now. Anyway, my brother David's in the house. What's up, man? What's a guan?
Hey man, not much here. It's it's been busy really, but it's getting pretty hot out here today. I think we're hitting 95. But I'm pretty excited though because we have this new bike trail opening up in 2 weeks. It's a 32-mile long track. Starts on top of I think Palisade Mountain. So they're opening part of it this next weekend. So I want to really go hit it then because it's pretty much 32 miles of going downhill. You descend 6,000 feet. I'm pretty excited for that.
Nice. That sounds kind of cool. Man. Yeah, and it's hasn't been getting hot like that over here. I'll just say that if we're gonna rap about the weather, you know what I mean. It hasn't been that bad over here, but I'm getting ready for it. I'm ready for it for real. You know what I'm saying? I do have a very cool announcement to make on Friday, so be sure to tune in on the main channel for that conversation because it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great conversation. I'm very, very excited about it. You know what I mean? So I'm hype about that. I'll just say that out loud right now. Big announcement. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. And, I'm excited for you with that new trail, because I know he's a very big outdoorsy guy. You know what I'm saying? He likes to hike, go mudding, etc., etc. There we go. Settings are good now. There we go. There we go. So I am very hype for you, man. That sounds like a really good thing. Especially like now is an opportunity for everybody to like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now everybody can get out and be more active. You know, that mental positivity. I feel like when we were all locked up like that, I feel like a lot of people didn't want to go out. People didn't want to do nothing. Now everybody wants to get slim thick. You know what I'm saying? They want to get, all slim thick. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Do you. Do it till you're satisfied. Just do it. You know what I mean? So, DJ Quick said St. Louis was hot as a mother, hot enough to make you cuss. LOL. The Pioneer, you know what? It's not hot right now. It's not hot right now. But during in July, bruh, it's bad. Near the end of June, early July, that's when it's really, 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 really bad. Okay? So just so you know. You know what I mean? But I am looking forward to people being able to go get in the pools, have summer. Last summer wasn't really a summer. You know what I'm saying? It was not a summer at all, y'all. For a lot of us. For most of us. Yeah. Some people didn't give two damns and they just did their thing. But a lot of us were scared, right? On a thing we can't really say much about. But you know what I'm saying. We were scared. We didn't want to jump into soup. You know what I mean?
Right. So early on, no one knew what was going to happen yet.
Exactly. How quickly it could transfer, et cetera, et cetera. So, at the same time, I am, I'm just looking forward to this summer. This is going to be a great summer. I'm going to say it out loud now. And I think we're going to laugh a lot this summer. That's my goal. We had a whole year and a whole summer last summer of just serious, like, what the hell's going on, man? Life is going to, you know what I mean? We're all going to die. You know what I'm saying? But now we don't have to worry about that as much. You know what I'm saying? So I hope we all have a great summer. Like, the roaring 20s. Hey, convenient, don't you think? Anyway.
I do think Biden's still aiming for July 4th for everything to be good. But I guess we'll see on that. He
going to have to, there's got to be a lot of work because we're still under 50%. Last I checked, as far as country-wise.
Yeah.
On this thing that we cannot talk much about. Anyway. Be sure to hit that like button. Get those likes all the way up. I'd really, really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We got the craziest story to talk about, okay? So before we get into this conversation, do me that favor. Crush that like button. If you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button on this secondary channel. And of course, if you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button on the main channel. It's the Pascal Show. Just very simple, clean as hell. Go and check that out. I'd really, really appreciate it. Hit that like button. Crush that subscribe button. We got to get into this conversation. Now, it's our top story of the day. Hunter Biden is in the news again. I guess the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree when it comes to ridiculous things that come out of people's mouths. Like I said, he is his father's son, in a way, all right? And I mean this if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, right? Hunter Biden. Oh, my God. This is, like I said, crack is whack. Crack is whack. Crack is whack. And crack is cheap. R.I.P. Whitney Houston. Anyway, moving on. Hunter Biden repeatedly called his white lawyer the N-word. Text show. Yeah. So, first son, Hunter Biden, repeatedly called his white attorney the N-word in a pair of bizarre and occasionally lewd text conversations in late in 2018 and early 2019, according to newly unearthed messages. In an exchange on December 13th, 2018, taken from Hunter's abandoned laptop, by the way, if I'm correct, this is the same laptop the infamous laptop, okay?
Yep.
And first reported by the Daily Mail, so shout out to the Daily Mail, the younger Biden asked Chicago-based corporate attorney George Mazires, I think it's Mazires, like Desires, Mazires. So if I'm butchering it, I apologize. How much money do I owe you? Before adding, because N-word, you better not be charging me Hennessy rates. This is Hunter Biden, y'all. Let me continue. That made me snarf my coffee, replied Mazires, who is white, by the way. White. All right? I just made that phrase up, by the way. Biden responded. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You should have had your lineage. Huh? Apparently you do, answered Mazires, before Biden responded, that's what I'm saying. N-word. A month later, the Mail reported a second, more serious exchange between Hunter and Mazires was interrupted by attempts at banter. Okay? So, obviously, as you can see, this is the text message conversation that they were having. Screenshots of the text messages, right? There's zero coverage or pickup of the story. Zip. They spent a ton of resources on it too for a year. Wow. Thank you, Michael Cohen. So this is obviously Biden, Hunter Biden saying this. So Mazires gives him the middle finger. And then he says, oh, and you too. How much money do I owe you? Because N-word, you better not be charging me Hennessy rates. All of this. So you should have had your lineage, clever son of a gun. It's wasted on you. Apparently you do. That's what I'm saying, N-word. Why are you so tan? I guess it was from a photo, an image that Hunter sent over. Okay? Now, this is where it gets really, really weird. Where do you find unconditional love then, George? God loves unconditionally. Bo loves you unconditionally. Children are too young to understand what it means, but you will show them. There are ideals of unconditional love that serve as proxies. I don't have many. You, God. OMG, N-word. Did you just a fictional character from the imagination of the collective frightened, and my dead brother's unconditional love is what I should rely on, and my kids aren't children, George. Yeah. So George responds with, my parents' love was conditioned. He says, my penis as of late has been unconditional. Oh my God. Oh my God. My penis as of late has been unconditional. You know, this needs to be a t-shirt. That needs to be a t-shirt. Okay. Okay. That's why we are searching for my penis. I'm sorry, I am 12 years old, but this is really going on. And we will always be searching. It's a big penis, George. They will always find it. And I only love you, and I only love you because you're black. It's so annoying when you interject with frivolity. True dat, N-word. But I'm done my rant.
I mean, based on what we're hearing out of China, hopefully he does lose his penis and never find it again.
Oh my God, the things he did.
A lot of people.
Man, he was getting FJs, smoking crack and getting FJs. Come on, y'all. I mean, and he says, and then George obviously finishes it off pretty much with, "We will always be searching." I guess we will always be searching for his penis. I don't know. Moving on. So there was more text between them that went on. But there was something else that they found on his, of course, this is what I just read. So there was also something that was found on his laptop. But let me just finish the story real quick, and then we will continue with your commentary, my brother. The Mail also reported that Hunter Biden kept a meme on his laptop that showed his father and former President Barack Obama embracing. And the meme text reads, "Obama, gonna miss you, man. Joe, can I say it just this once? Obama, sigh. Go ahead. Joe, you my N-word, Barack." That was on his laptop as well. So, as we already know, Hunter Biden went in, had very interesting conversations with his lawyer, or with a lawyer, calling him the N-word. He was white, by the way. He is. He hasn't changed color. He's still white, okay? He is a Caucasian lawyer, Caucasian man, George Mazires, okay? And then he went on to have conversations about his penis and how big his penis is. And if they were searching for his penis, it wouldn't be very hard for them to find his penis because of how large his member is. This is the same person that has a father that's in the White House right now that was on an interview with Charlemagne the God that literally said, "If you don't vote for me, then you are not black." Of course, I'm misquoting and I'm chopping up the words, but you know what I'm saying. So, let me just say this really quick. As you see, I'm going to show you guys the text messages again, okay? To me, this is clearly somebody who's on crack or on some serious drugs, really good drugs, okay? Either the purest of meth, the purest of cocaine, or he's just straight up in the gutter smoking that crack rock. Clearly. That goes without saying. So, kind of embarrassing. But also I want to say something too. This is something that I noticed as well. In a lot of Twitter posts and stuff, a lot of twits I've been seeing, okay? People have been saying, hey, if you notice, President Joe Biden has not given Hunter Biden a job still to this day in the White House. Makes you wonder why. But then you see stuff like this and you're going, okay, this guy's an ignoramus. This dude is an idiot. And clearly, his mind is messed up with a whole bunch of drugs. David, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I mostly agree here. I definitely do think this is basically it is a reflection of Biden because it's consistent with what we've heard from Biden in the past. I mean, one of the earliest things he was trying to do with school things and all that busing was to keep black people from mixing with whites. So we already know that he wants, at least in the past, for maybe 40 or 50 years, he's been promoting a degree of segregation between whites and blacks. And like we just said yesterday, that when these segregated white people just have this kind of external view of black people, and then they end up asking him these questions. Like the meme is literally what we were talking about yesterday, where like this ignorant segregated white comes up and just asks if you could say the N-word or something like that. I mean, that's pretty much the same thing we're seeing from Hunter in this situation. So it doesn't really surprise me. It's consistent with his father and his upbringing. I mean, in addition to the racial slurs, it's not unexpected either. Some people do feel that the ending with the A is more acceptable. But again, we see this with his father calling black children roaches and things like that. So there's a history of racial slurs in the family as well. I mean, this guy's just had a lot of problems. He's still under investigation for political corruption in the Ukraine by a few agencies, and still underground news networks in China are investigating 4 claims of him having intercourse with underage girls. So there's a lot. This guy's got a lot of problems. Obviously, his crack addiction is probably what pushes most of this. And mixing that with his upbringing, he just doesn't seem to have an appropriate filter or self-control anymore. I mean, that's why he keeps finding himself in these situations of getting caught smoking crack in a dance club or trying to get involved in foreign politics and kind of messing it up a little bit, which is probably why Biden ended up not wanting him at all in his cabinet. And we have seen, like, Biden is pretty much like Trump in this regard. He's very okay with advancing his family as part of his political movement. We saw this a lot. Well, in the past, you saw it with Beau. Doesn't seem to have the same engagement with Hunter, however, which I'm sure just makes their relationship even more strained. I definitely get the impression that Beau is the good son, and he is Hunter is the bad son, and that's kind of how Biden sees it, I take. So, yeah, I'm not really surprised he's keeping him out of office because there are still issues of corruption with him, as well as a well-known crack addiction, multiple times being arrested for that recently over the past 2 years, in addition to questionable meetings with political agents in our own country. So, yeah, I mean, him being racist, or using racial slurs at least, checks for me pretty well because it's, like I said, between his upbringing and his addiction to crack, which obviously degrades your ability to think clearly, he's probably kind of just stuck in that area where he still sees black people the way his father talked about them when he was a kid.
I mean, you got to remember, you're right with the whole thing about his upbringing. You know, obviously he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and probably around a lot of other overly privileged children. So probably there wasn't a whole lot of diversity on top of that. So his ignorance is just ingrained in his bones. You know what I'm saying? It's soaked all the way to the bones, right? So when you have something like this, when you see something like this happening in a text message and he's saying these kind of things, it just shows how ignorant and how ignorant and how just, I'm trying to find the word. How polluted his mind is, I guess, with these drugs in general. And I don't know how long he's been sober. I don't know his whole story about how long he's been sober. I don't know. Right?
They got him in 2019 for smoking in a strip club in New York.
Okay, so in other words, in 2019, probably he was, his mind was probably polluted with all kinds of drugs. But still, that does not give him a pass. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, you just don't say those kind of things. But also, he did call Mazires black. He did say all these other things. I mean, he was basically trying to degrade that lawyer. You know, here's the thing. If he was just saying, "Hey, what up, my N-word? What's good, bruh?" You know what I mean? If he was saying it like that, it's another thing. I mean, still it's ignorant as hell, and I don't condone that at all. But at the same time, he goes, "Oh, but you're black. So wait a second. Now you just took that whole conversation, this whole thing that you were doing, that could have been a term of endearment, let's just say, for lack of that could have been his excuse. But as soon as he said, 'Oh no, but you're black,' he just suddenly knocked that all the way down. Suddenly, it's an insult now.
Yeah,
because you are seriously trying to degrade that lawyer. You see what I'm saying? So regardless if he said the instead of regardless, he was trying to knock that guy down a couple pegs by calling him the N-word, saying you are less than, you are nothing because you are black. Then on top of that, him having that meme on his laptop. He's pretty ignorant as well. You know, like for me, it's like, okay, if your dad, if your papa is the vice president at that time, is the vice president of these United States, standing next to the first black president of these United States, don't you think that you would not have that kind of content on your laptop? I'm just asking for a friend. Wouldn't you not have that stuff on there?
I mean, I think anyone that was smart and sober wouldn't have it on there, but
exactly
someone that's not smart and just rotted out with crack is going to always make bad decisions, basically.
Right, rotted out with crack, getting foot jobs. I said it, getting foot jobs while smoking crack while his laptop is open and he's filming himself getting this foot job, smoking the crack, wherever he is in Bangkok or Thailand, wherever the hell he is. But he's straight up getting this stuff and he's filming it. It wasn't like his computer was hacked and somebody decided to hack him. He went ahead and just hit record and got stroked off whilst smoking a bowl of crack. Obviously, this man is not all the way with it. Roberta just asked, what's a foot job? Just look it up, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I can't explain it. They use their feet on your Johnson. There you go. That's the best way I could say it. Okay? Chuck Diesel just said, Trump was white. Trump was right. He's a crackhead. And I hate Trump. Yeah. I mean, Trump ain't wrong. I mean, he wasn't wrong. Real talk. He was not wrong. Okay? He wasn't wrong on this. Who is Johnson? Roberta, stop. Stop it. Yes, the pioneer. Yes. Oh, hell no. He literally, I mean, I could not show you guys that video, obviously, because, you know, we ain't on P-Hub, okay? And we ain't on OnlyFans. But, literally, there is a video of him getting, you know, a good seeing too, foot-wise. He's getting a foot massage. You know what I mean? He's getting his ish massaged.
And he's yelling at the TV the whole time too.
And I think there's I think it's American Dad or Family Guy or something random on the TV that he's screaming at. I think, or it's like maybe America's Funniest Home I don't know. It was something really random. But he's doing this and he's got the foot thing going. I mean, it's just ridiculous, okay? Ridiculous. See what I did there? Anyway.
I guess that's what he was asking for, was a redicking.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Good job there, David. I'm proud. You tried that. You tried that, David. I'm proud of you. That's how it's done. But anyway, on some real stuff. He had somebody taking care of him while he's doing that thing. So, and that's during that time. So who's to say that wasn't some coked or drug-fueled conversation that he was having? Whilst high as hell. Just saying. Now, that doesn't justify anything, but clearly the dude is an idiot.
Shay Del Rey says it's pretty wild because crack is not like cocaine. It doesn't make you want sex. It makes you want more crack. I mean, that's kind of the impression I got because he was completely passive, just laying there like a limp log, smoking crack and watching TV while the girl did all the work. So, I mean, that checks.
Yeah, limp log. Maybe a limp twig. You know what I mean? Just a limp twig, you know? She's just like, hello, is this thing on? You know what I mean? And it's just not. Actually, that was her feet instead. Imagine her feet. But anyway. Oh, Black Lady Jane just said the cult leader of 45 would recognize a cokehead immediately having Donald J as a son, or Donald Jr., I'm sorry, as a son. You know, facts. He would know a drug user from a mile away, I'm sure, you know.
Yeah.
And he said that.
Trump always
Go ahead.
Trump always had that foreign Sudafed that doesn't have the thing that makes you throw up, which is what people use for DMX. Like, he had boxes of those. So he was definitely tripping on DMX at times. Or, yeah. DXM, whatever.
DX, I was
good.
like, DMX. D!
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what?
DXM. There, yeah.
He's listening to DMX, y'all, while he's going, what's up, my N-word? Oh, my God. Let a dog roam and he'll find his way home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yes, David. DMX.
Hey, he might have been jamming out to him while he took the pills.
Hey, he might have been smoking the crack with DMX. You never know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, R.I.P., man. But at the same time, he did like the crack rock too. So just oh my God. But yeah, he was tripping on other things, not DMX, but
Yeah, DXM.
Oh God. But anyway, I think it's a ridiculous story. Oh my God. And of course, you know, they're going to be looking up more stuff on that laptop. There's going to be more information coming out other than just this little exchange that he had with his with his lawyer. I mean, there's a lot more, I'm sure, that will be coming up here very, very soon. And we all just got to get ready for it. That's all. And not be surprised when it does happen, you know? So, I got to show you guys something. You know, now it's time for something absolutely, completely, and utterly different. Speaking of ridiculous, I got to move myself over here, I guess. This, I'm still trying to understand what I just saw. Enjoy. Oh. What? This is okay, so first off, let me just explain something to you, okay? Okay. You can curse, it's okay. Yeah, it's the WTF moment right now, okay? Here it is, y'all. I'm trying to explain it, but it is Winter Muse says it's like a lap dance by a dude. I don't know what the heck this is. This is not a lap dance. This is somebody who thinks he's at home. Clearly, this man thinks he's at home. Just straight up. Sorry. Just straight up going in. Okay? Just letting it all out. Like, he's getting his frustrations out. Okay? No more stimulus checks. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty bad. But this. Okay, so there is a thing, you know, out here, you know, where the whole bumping and grinding thing, it's a very interesting way of dancing, but it is a thing that's out here. But this man is going straight in, like he's thinking that he's home, having drunk, rough sex with this girl. Real talk. I want to know. Can somebody please tell me where her other shoe is? Her slide slid off. Where's her other slide?
Did he slap
it's
her
over
belly
here.
in the middle of that?
He slapped her belly and then he kept going.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Everybody needs to go and have some fun, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But real talk, he humped her so hard her shoe was off. I'm sorry. Nothing wrong with, I'm not even talking about I ain't talking about size, no nothing. I'm just straight up pointing out the ridiculousness of how drunk he is, how drunk she is too. And they're just going to town for whatever reason it is. That was a real thing that happened. And somebody, like I said, you can never be safe out here, y'all. You can't be safe. You can't go out there and express your true feelings. You can't. Physically, I mean, you can't go out there and just be all crazy, humping the hell out of some girl like that. You can't. I'm just saying, fellas, you got to start acting right. Ladies, y'all got to start acting right. I understand. A lot of us have been locked up. We've been locked up, and we want to let it all out. You know what I'm saying? We want to let it all out. Even some liquid. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But you got to control yourself because people are out here. People are straight ready. People stay ready with their phones, man. Pulling it out, ready to record at any given moment because that clearly is an embarrassing moment right there for him. Not about the girl. It has nothing to do with the girl. Hey, love who you want to love, bang who you want to bang. Man, everybody needs a little D and a little V in their life. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? But the fact that he was just seriously, all pistons firing. Literally.
This is something I would expect from like 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids that are drunk or something. Like you said, I mean, someone here said it's probably for clouts because we are talking about them, which may be true. But in this case, I don't think it's going to work out in his favor. I mean, maybe this is just me and Pascal, but I definitely see this as embarrassing and not something I'd want to be known for.
No, I don't see anybody sliding in the DMs like, you did that, bro, you did that. No, man.
Like, it's so weird because there's already like dance moves that can take care of that. But he's just like, he's not even dancing. That's the thing. He's just
but there is a form.
Like, that's the thing. He's not dancing. He is just dry humping. That's pretty much it.
But there is a
if
thing.
If he was twerking, that might be different. But like, it's just that whole situation is weird.
No, but there is a thing out here. There is a culture out there of this form of dancing. I don't call it dancing either, but it is kind of like this. There are plenty of dudes that do this kind of thing where the girls bend over and they're just going at it. Some dudes do a bunch of tricks like flip around them and all that stuff and do all this crazy stuff. This dude was straight up just simulating sex. He was dry humping the hell out of that girl. That's literally what it was. Real talk. Drunk and just going in. Okay? But this is something that happens a lot. It's a thing that is out here that's shared a lot as far as like that kind of dancing. Yeah, you can basically call it dirty dancing, Wintermute. Good call. It's just dirty dancing. Literally. They go and they just, as Mr. Super just said, what up, man? Bumping uglies. That's it. But there's dudes out here that do all kinds of tricks. Hold up. Now you got me. Oh, come on. Shut up. Now you got me looking this up to show you. I mean, I'm going to try this. What?
I do think it's also like, do you know who that guy is at the end? Is he like a bouncer? It looks like
I think it was a bouncer being like, yo, chill out, bruh. Chill.
It's got to be pretty crazy to make a bouncer care about it. And it was for sure.
Yeah. Hold up. I'm trying to. It is. This is gonna drive me nuts. I mean, it was crazy to me. It's like I see it in clubs a lot. But I don't but then there's viral videos that you see all over the place. I don't see it. I'm trying to find some examples. Like basically it's like freak dancing, right? And these guys and girls will just like, they're basically simulating sex in the club. But some of these guys will go to crazy extents, you know, where they'll flip around them and do all this crazy stuff, like literally. Chuck is weak. Chuck is getting weak. He said, y'all are acting up in here today. I'm legit crying, laughing. But I'm not gonna be able to find it, I don't think. Damn it. I'm not gonna be able to find it. But anyway, because there's like really safe, you know, versions of like freak dancing, like how to freak dance, you know, stuff like that. But I'm trying to find the ones where literally these dudes are like flipping, you know, they're flipping on top of them and all that stuff. I can't find it to save my life. And that's what sucks. But it is a real thing. So what he was doing was kind of that. Kinda. I just think the dude was just trying to blow her back out. Sorry. I said it. Yeah, like I said, today we're going to laugh a lot today. Crystal, you missed out on some fun stuff so far. But Jamaican dance parties be throwing them around. Exactly. Ryan Sanders on YouTube. Exactly, man. Some crazy stuff out there. There's some crazy things. And you see them, they're like, you know what I mean? They're flipping, they're like using, like flipping off the girl's back like she's a pommel horse. I mean, it's ridiculous, the moves that they do. It's ridiculous. So he was simulating something like that, a form of freak dancing, but at the same time, I think he was drunk and he went into autopilot and he thought he was home because he was pulling the girl's hair and everything. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't complaining. She clearly wasn't complaining, but at the same time, he was just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, we got to jump into the next story, okay? It's drunk dancing. I mean, you know, he clearly was drunk, but sometimes, you know, when he got all pistons firing, sometimes people ain't ready for that. You know what I'm saying? And it is weird looking. Like, imagine you being caught doing that, but you're not butt naked. You have all your clothes on. You're in the middle of a club. And you're doing everything you can to see if you could shatter a vertebrae or two. I'm just saying.
It's sticking to the PG-13 sex, I guess.
Yeah, it's PG-13. Like, but you're trying to do like a hard R, but it's not that hard R. But you're trying to get to the hard R, but it's not. It ain't working. Why is it not getting out here? It's called clothes.
I guess it is good protection at least.
Yes. I understand, man. Like, Amor said, girls growing up without fathers, letting men treat them like a piece of meat, and the so-called dirty dancing is so disrespectful. Amor, let me tell you this. I think it's disrespectful as hell, too. I don't like it. It's something that I think is weird, especially when it's like y'all don't even know each other and y'all are getting together and you got somebody like this doing that, like a dude doing that to you. You know what I'm saying? It's really weird to me. I just don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? On a serious tip, you know, this is something that I agree with Amor. Ladies, if you're doing this and I don't know, that ain't your man and you just met that guy, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But, you know, bumping and grinding, I don't see anything wrong with a little bump and grind. Real talk, I don't. Okay? But at the same time, when it comes to this extreme, I just think it's disrespectful, for sure. It's despicable. But you can't help but laugh at that situation where you clearly see two people just drunk as hell, and they're just trying to get. You can see it's like they're trying to get their frustrations out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can see it. It's a little bit of that Halle Berry, Billy Bob Thornton monsters make me feel good kind of scene. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what is happening? And you know, it's just shocking to look at.
Yeah.
But people are out here trying to kill each other with their PPs and VVs. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I guess let it all out. Let your freak flag fly. This is the time.
Going for it. It's probably not too common there because they probably don't like it.
But again, what?
I said if the bouncer is like breaking them up for it, it's probably not the kind of dancing they let happen there. Like, okay, was that actually a like a strip club or a dance place? Or was that just a bar or something?
No, that was a club, man. You could hear it in the background. It was like karaoke night. He was singing some Usher in the background. You know what I mean? He was doing it was karaoke, bruh. It was karaoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's singing some Usher, nice and slow. You know what I'm saying? It's 7 o'clock on the dot, and I don't know, maybe it just set the mood for them. And then next thing you know, he's just banging her out, dry humping.
I mean, he didn't take it slow though.
He is dry humping with passion. Did you see that? He was dry humping with passion. He backed all the way up, and then you know what I'm saying? All the way. He backed all the way. And then, you know what I'm saying? He was throwing himself on her, kind of thing, pulling her hair and all that. And she didn't seem like she complained. She wasn't complaining. That was a yeah. Clearly, it was like, oh, listen, guys, you're getting too aggressive. It's getting too graphic. Y'all need to chill. This is a karaoke night. What do you think this is? You think this is a Chuck E. Cheese's? Come on now. The hell's wrong with you? Respect. But that's what happens when you get too drunk. Oh.
Yeah. Or worse. You never know.
Wait, replayed it? I don't think that was the song. Mark Jones, bruh, hold up. You know what? Challenge accepted. I don't give a damn. And Nur is back, so I'm gonna do this for her. I'm gonna do it for her. Nur. Occur. Let's do this again. One last time. One more again. I need to find it because I just moved on. Okay, hold up. Man, come on. Okay. All right. Here it is. Oh, shoot. I got to move my thing again. Hold up. Move my thing. Move my screen again. Hold up. Here we go. This is for you, Nur. One last time in all of its glory. I can't. Look at that, all the way back. Oh. I'm just saying, where is her sandal? It's all the way over here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look at him. He's all the way in. He's. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He just grabs the dude's arm.
Yeah, he's like, bruh. Right oh, he's like, where's the? I'm like, was her shoe though? Her slide slid off. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, it's not the 7 o'clock song? What do I have in my head then? What song is it then?
This is You Got It Bad, I think.
You Got It Bad. Thank you. Wow, it slipped my mind. Thank you. But bruh, slides were off. Slide was off. She was sans one sandal. You know what I'm saying? He humped the sandal off her foot. I'm sorry. We're lingering on this B because we can. It's funny as hell. I'm sorry. But it's funny. It's funny. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn, like, because I see a lot of people roasting, like, the size of the girl and all that stuff inside the comments on this Instagram post. But on some real stuff. I don't give a damn about the size of the girl or what she looks like or what the dude actually physically looks like. It's what's happening in the club. They could have been two great-looking bodies. And they were drunk as hell, sloppy drunk like this, it would still be comical. It would still be hilarious. Okay? I just want to make that abundantly clear. And yes, we spent 15 minutes on this conversation because it's freaking hilarious. But yeah, see, like I said, we're going to laugh a lot today. Today is a laughing day because I got another video for y'all that you're never going to unsee. Because it's nasty. But anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we got the world news brief. And then we got to talk about this Trisha Paytas situation. I think it's important that we talk about it. Real talk. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye. Like all the way in. Like all the way in. Like literally. Did you see how like he was just tense? You know what I'm saying? I'll be right back.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. And as long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now. Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and enjoying the laughter today. If this is your first time checking out this show, like I always say, please go hit that subscribe button on this Clips secondary channel. And also, please go crush that subscribe button on our main channel as well. I do this show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I usually, but not this week, but I usually do a Tuesday through Thursday, 7 p.m. show. But I will not be doing any evening shows this week. But regardless, we will be kicking that back up next week. So be sure to go over there to the main channel, the Pascal Show channel, and crush that subscribe button over there. On Friday, we'll be back over there to knock it out and have a grand old time. So be sure to go and check that out. Hit that subscribe button over there, okay? Do me a favor, hit that like button down below. I see a bunch of you guys in here watching the show and enjoying it, laughing y'all asses off. So hit that like button down below, por favor, okay? Just asking for it, you know what I mean? Help a man make his dreams come true. Okay? Thank you. Anyway, moving on. We got to jump into this story, y'all. This is something I know this is YouTube based, okay? And I know from time to time we cover YouTube stories here, okay? Or YouTuber stories, all right? And in this particular story, Trisha Paytas, okay? I don't know if you know who Trisha Paytas is, but she has a channel. She's a big YouTuber. She's been on the channel, been on the YouTube platform for a very, very, very long time, okay? And there's a lot of people that love her, okay? She has a very interesting past, for lack of a better term of past, I guess. But in this particular situation, she's on a show on another big channel called H3H3, or I think it's H3 Podcast, right? Yeah, it's just called H3 Podcast. And on that podcast channel, she has a show with this other guy, Ethan Klein, called Frenemies, all right? Now, they have a very up and down roller coaster ride of a relationship. That's why the show is called Frenemies. Now, just yesterday, after she did a Frenemies episode, she quit the show. She announced that she's stepping down from doing the show. She doesn't want to do it anymore, etc. She's feeling some type of way about said show. All right? We have a clip to show you the fight between the two, okay? I want you guys to check out this video. We're going to check it out together, because I think it's something very important. Like, this is kind of the thing, like when we talked about Joe Budden and his podcast and all that. And I got to be honest, Frenemies is a very popular podcast. People watch this. People really watch this. And I'm not knocking it. You know, I watch H3 Podcast quite a bit for ideas, inspiration, and just they have very interesting topics and conversations on their show. And they really do run a show. It is a show. They have their regular podcast, like After Dark podcast, and they have their Frenemies podcast. And they both do extremely well, both shows, right, on this one platform. So we have got to take a look at this particular clip. It's a little bit long, but we're going to go through it as much as we can, all right? And, yeah, I want to get you guys' opinion on this, all right? This is the fight that they had yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, in which a few hours later, she goes onto her own YouTube channel and says, I'm out. I'm not doing this show no more. Let's take a look at why she wants to bow out. Here we go.
Also, like, not that great. I don't get input on, like, people we hire, like, all this stuff like that. I don't get
people we hire. Why would I ask you about people I hire?
Because it's Frenemies and you take the budget for paying the crew. That's what you told me. You take highlights, you take 5% to pay the crew.
No,
so why don't I get any input on the crew or what we do?
These are employees of our
So why are you
production
taking
company.
highlights and 5% of Frenemies? You told me that it was to pay them, that they could be working.
It's for production costs.
Okay, but you told me
It's for
at the
production
beginning.
costs.
You told me at the beginning it's like they could be working on other things. So I made that argument too. I'm like, well, they're already H3. Oh, they could be working on other things. So I'm like, okay, in that
It's
case,
for production costs. I take 5% extra from the podcast revenue, and I take the highlights revenue, and everything else we split.
right. So for production costs,
Yeah.
But again, you were about to move us all to downtown LA, and I was just like, but the production cost should be included. Like you were going to share the cameras because Dan said, "Oh, we have to get new computers and new cameras." Well, I'm like, Frenemies
and I
has the budget.
obliged you. I said, okay, fine.
But you fought me on it
because we bought a studio downtown. That was always the plan, by the way, that we were going to move downtown. And then all of a sudden, I was
For
like,
H3,
yo, and I was
no
like, yo, we're
consent to it.
moving. I told you ahead of time, but it's fine because
You didn't tell me downtown
we're still
LA.
at my house now. But I said, okay, so I was like, yo, by the way, we moved into our new office. We're going to be there next week. It's good. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to go down there. And we had made all these plans to move the set and everything and to do everything. So you're like, I don't want to go down there. And then we talked about it for a little bit, and I said, okay, fine. And so we had to buy.
But that was the first time we ever spent money on production costs.
It's not about that, dude. It's literally about we are producing the show and I'm taking a cut. I feel like that's beyond reasonable.
All the
beyond
highlights.
reasonable.
5%. 5%. Do you realize how much 5% was of our last one? That should be enough. But also like highlights, and then you weren't the membership I had to fight for because you're like, oh, I forgot to tell you about the members. Like
I giving you 50% of all the members, even though we work and do all of the work. I don't know why you fight me on money. The deal you have is beyond reasonable.
Okay.
So I want to point something out really quick. They had another conversation like this before, all right? They had a fight live on the show where she was talking about 5%, 5%, 5%, talking about just money, basically, and how she has, quote unquote, no control over this particular show, all right? And of course, she's sitting there feeling like she's getting underserved, let's just say, underserved. She keeps saying this and all that, and the thing is I know a lot of you guys, and thank you, David, for saying that. You know, it is true. You know, the reason why we're bringing this up is this is one of the largest channels out there, and one of the largest shows out there. I mean, this show does very, very well. They moved their entire show, which was in the basement of Ethan's home, to a full-on warehouse. I mean, the place that they moved to is absolutely gigantic, all right? Now, she's obsessed over how she doesn't have control over, like, picking the crew or where the show should be or anything of that sort. And she's upset about how much money she's actually making on this particular show. Yet this show is underneath the awning of H3 Podcast, which has a following. I don't even know how many subscribers, but they're in the millions. Long story short, they're in the millions. And she's making money on not only on her own YouTube channel, but she's still making really good money over here on this show as well. She gets 5% of a very large cut.
And they have
of a very large
sum.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And they have 6.4 million subscribers on YouTube.
6.4 million subscribers on YouTube alone. Okay? And she's tripping over her cut. All right? Now, this part, to me, this argument is ridiculous and unnecessary. I understand that she wants her money. I understand that she feels that she deserves to have some sort of control over the show. But she doesn't. And she won't. I'm not going to show the whole thing. But as you could see, this is obviously something that she will not let go. Now, I'm going to move up just a little bit. Just so we could finish out a little bit of this conversation so you can see what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? By this being one of the largest shows, lets you know society is in serious decline. Chuck, I mean, here it is. Chuck, I feel you on that. Okay? But I'll tell you this. H3 Podcast has got a formula. They figured out the formula, and it works. They are making lots of money doing what they're doing. And honestly, there's a lot of things that they have on the show that are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And they do talk about a lot of stuff. But, you know, it's like they're kind of like a drama channel, but they're kind of not, but they kind of are. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about other YouTube channels and or other YouTubers and the scandals and all that stuff. They do talk about things that are going on as far as worldly news and everything. But at the same time, you do have somebody like Trisha who has very, very strong opinions, and she's very outspoken with her opinions about things. Real talk. So, once again, this is another situation where she has brought up this conversation live on the show, talking about it. Now, I'm going to say this. I am not too biased, Roberta. I'm not. I'm just trying to be fair. I'm trying to sit on the fence right now because I'm not going to talk trash on a show that has figured out their audience, and their audience eats this stuff up. I'm not talking about the content. Whatever they're doing is working. But this conversation that they're having live on the show does not work for me.
I think that's not what it is.
That's what you said.
So then that's.
But
I don't remember,
to say
but that's not
gaslighting
what
is
it
telling someone how they feel, and you're telling me how I feel, and I'm telling you I don't feel frustrated or upset. So I don't know what else that could be. How am I gaslighting you by telling you I'm not feeling this way? How is that gaslighting you? I'm not feeling this way.
Okay.
I wouldn't show up. I wouldn't come here. I would,
You listen. You can be upset and not
But I'm not.
because you could be upset and then also not be like, I'm not showing up. Fuck you.
I'm
like
not
there's
upset.
levels.
If I was upset, I
well,
wouldn't
I'm
show
just
up.
explaining. I'm just because you can be upset and still show
But
up.
I'm
That's
not
my point.
upset, and that's what
all
gaslighting
right.
is. Because you're saying I'm gaslighting you by saying,
you. You're not upset. You're perfectly.
Oh,
You're in
wow.
a perfect condition right now.
okay, wow, holy cow, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know how you. I just don't see what you just did. That's really.
What did I do?
We have to end it now. Like really.
What did I do?
We got to stop for real. Really. We need
Okay.
to stop. Please. Okay.
Whenever you're ready, you
All
can walk
right.
away.
So here's the thing. This is the thing that drives me crazy. Okay, this is what drives me crazy about people who are getting in arguments and all that. She just turned on him. You didn't see that? You didn't see what just happened? She quickly turned left into victim. You didn't see that? Hold on. I'll roll that back a little bit. She suddenly turns it into something super, super personal within seconds.
Stop. Please. Okay.
Whenever you're ready, you
All
can walk
right.
away.
So, end it now.
Hold on. I'm going to do this again.
No, you're not upset. You're perfectly.
Oh,
You're in
wow.
a perfect condition right now.
Okay. Wow.
Right here.
Holy cow, that's crazy.
Right there.
I mean, I don't know how you. I just don't see what you just did. That's really.
What did I
crazy.
do?
Right there.
We have to end it now. Like really.
Right there.
What?
Okay. I'm sorry. I have been in arguments with women like this before. I'm sorry. I don't mean it. I'm not trying to throw any woman under the bus, but I've been in arguments with women like this before, where it goes straight up from an argument. It's a A-B conversation, and then they just turn left and they suddenly go victim. How dare you? When you're just like, wait a second, I didn't say nothing wrong. I said what I needed to say.
I mean, I mostly agree with you here. But I mean, I don't hardly remove the blame from him. But in this situation, it's a strange one. You shouldn't really be talking about your money live in terms of what you're making from the show.
Exactly what I was gonna say next, but
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is too. You see what I'm saying? You just don't go live on the show and start talking a whole bunch of mess.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean-
turn it into a thing where, hold on, because there's more. And I want you to hear this last part because I don't like this part at all. This is me, though. Okay? We're going to talk about the whole talking live and all that stuff. We're going to talk about that. Real talk. We are. But I want you guys to see what she does at the end of this BS. Live on their show, by the way. Real quick. Take a look.
What did I do?
We got to stop for real.
What did he do?
Really. We need to stop. Please.
It's coming.
Whenever you're ready, you
All
can
right.
walk away.
So. No, because I don't want to title this.
It's the
Trisha-
pizza curse.
But can we just?
I'm not going to title it
It's not. All
Trisha's
right.
thing. It's the pizza curse. It is.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't have got pizza. The pizza? Oh no, it was pizza. Trisha, let me just say,
The
I'm
fact,
sorry.
Ethan, that you just did that, you're right. You're
I don't know
right.
what I just
Nothing's wrong
said.
with you. But you don't know how much therapy I go to a week. I go to 4
But
Zoom
Trisha,
sessions a
you
week.
can't-
No,
I understand,
Ethan,
but okay,
what you
all right.
just said was, you're right, Trisha. Everything's fine. That's insane. Like, the fact that you did that to me is, like,
It's
insane.
not insane. We're friends.
was
We're
so
having
nice.
a friendly conversation. I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around everything I
Okay.
say.
All right, Ethan,
We
I'm
have
asking to end this. I'm asking
You can
please.
leave anytime, Trisha.
But then you're making this thing where we're not ending the show, and you get to sit here and be like, okay, well, that just happened, and you're eating pizza, and then
I will
joke
end
and
the
whatever.
show the minute you walk
All right,
off the
so let's
frame.
just end it, please. Thank you guys for watching, and I don't want it to be a thing where you're just sitting here eating pizza and you become a meme.
Okay, so she straight up went, as Mark Jones said, victim mode 1,000%. I think. I agree. There's a certain level of BS that any person can take. And then when it turns into a thing where it goes, when it takes a hard left or a hard right turn, it's ridiculous. Now, I get it. Calling a woman irrational is a classic. Siri, I see your point on that too. I'm not sitting here saying that Ethan on the other side is in the clear. I'm not sitting here saying that he's perfect. Not at all. But he was defending himself, which I think he had every right to defend himself. He was talking back to her, or not talking back to her, but he was, responding to her in a way that I think was justified. But what I do not like is when people in general, people do this. It's not only just women. I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, women do this all the time and it's only women. No, I'm not sitting here saying that. Men do the same thing too. It's just different, right? It's just done different. But she clearly used her mental health. She threw that on the table. He wasn't sitting there saying anything to her that would, let's just say, trigger her in a way. Just in my personal opinion, he was defending the business. He was defending the contractual agreement that they've had for however long this contract is. And if she has a problem with that contract, then she should be reapproaching that contract when the contract is up, not live on the damn show, having a conversation and exposing all of their personal monies live to everybody else. Nobody wants to see that. I mean, people did see that and it became a thing. People were really talking about it. People are talking about it to this day right now. But at the same time, as Noli just said, good morning, a contract is a contract. And I could not agree more. So you wait till your contract is up and then you have a sit down powwow and you go, listen, I don't think I'm getting enough I don't think I'm getting what I deserve. Mind you, I want to say this also too. As much as she gets upset about the location, like they said in the thing, and I don't know if I showed it in that conversation, but later within that conversation, he was saying that he told her, hey, the H3 podcast show is going to a warehouse. We are moving the show, and we want Frenemies over there as well. She objected, and as far as I know. If I'm correct, they never moved the show. They kept it in the basement of Ethan Klein's home because they wanted to accommodate Trisha Paytas because of her objections of going downtown. Then she starts talking about how she's only getting 5%, but 5% over a lot of money is still really good. Then, of course, there's overhead. You got to pay for a crew, equipment, the location, wherever it might be. There's all these other things. There's overhead that you have to pay for. But she wants to expose all of this trash, all of this information live on the show. Is this healthy? Is this a healthy conversation or no? David, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, they should have. They formed a contract before this, and if she had any problems with the money, she should have worked it out then. obviously things can change after they work the contract, so maybe they could renegotiate it down the line. However, like you pretty much said, this you don't talk about money live. It's just not a good idea. I mean, putting your business out there, it should be something that's done behind the scenes. So I'm not really surprised. She does focus. Trisha Paytas focuses mostly on drama. Pretty much every time I've seen her in H3, that's what she's been there for.
Right.
I know they had like a big argument over what was it? They were doing some Bachelorette type show, and she wasn't working the way he wanted to. And then what else was there? Like I mean the issue with his wife Gila, where she talks about photoshopping. That's actually a conversation she had with Ethan about 5 years ago. I watched that one, and she takes it much better in that scene. But for some reason, this setup with Gila, she did not do so. At the same time, Ethan himself is pretty slimy, I think, and he has been accused of bad dealings in the past.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. So I can definitely see that his contract is not fair, but that's just not the place to bring it up because you're not going to get any resolution there. But at the same time, this could just be a game between them because she is always on the drama and he's kind of always a dick to everyone. He's kind of mean. I mean, that's why I stopped watching him. He's too mean to his wife for me. So he loves his wife and she's so mean to her that I stopped watching it because of that a lot of times.
Right.
So I definitely can see him being slimy and doing stuff behind the scenes to kind of keep her out of the money, but ultimately it's her responsibility to make sure she's not being cheated because people will always try to cheat you, and the only one that can guarantee that you're being treated fairly is yourself, and the time to do that is during contracts or renegotiations of the contract, which is why you should always leave some sort of exit clause for yourself if things aren't going the way you want or something like that.
Right. You know, who said it? I need to find that real quick. Somebody just said something that I need to respond to. Edward Green, good morning. He said, Edward Green said, he heard with his ears but not with his heart. Okay, let me just say this. If you have a person that is constantly in your face, I'm just saying, I can only imagine that this, if you are having a conversation like this live on your show, right? Live on your show, then clearly you have no qualms with having that conversation in person. If you're going to have that conversation live on the show, then clearly that person's been having that conversation with you behind closed doors, behind the scenes. Okay? So with him not hearing with his heart, I don't agree with you, Edward. No offense to you, but I keep thinking that this is not the first time they've had this conversation. They clearly have had this conversation talking about their business and how she feels like she should be getting more a lot, to the point where he's like, hey, I'm saying these things by rote now. I'm saying these responses because I've said you've talked about these things over and over and over again. And as much as you feel like you're not getting what you rightfully deserve, I'm trying to tell you that everything's on paper. Everything's in the contract. Now, obviously he didn't say this in the conversation live on the show, but my response to that would have been, yo, man, hey, sweetheart, if you have a problem with the contract, then bring your lawyers, I'll bring mine, and when the contract is up, we will sit down and renegotiate. Now, the show is very popular. I'm sorry, David, sorry. Now, the show is very popular, all right? The show is very popular. There is a lot of overhead that they have to take care of because there's clips, there's all these, they're taking out clips, they're doing the show, they got crew members, etc., and they all get paid hourly for their time. So you have to put those things into consideration. And if this show was the top and it was the only show on that channel, then I would understand, like, hey, man, I need Trisha. This is a duo. But I'm going to say this too. But it's under H3 Podcasts. He owns it. He runs it. He is like the executive producer. He is the showrunner. He comes up with the ideas. He's facilitating the location. He's facilitating the crew. It's shot in his home. If not, it would be shot in his new warehouse where the After Hours and the H3 podcast shows are originally shot at now, he's got a lot of overhead. And he's housing this show underneath the awning of his entire system. So for me, it's like, all right, I hear what she's saying. I understand she feels like she should be getting paid more. And I ain't saying no to that. Shoot. I'd be like, yo, I want to get paid too. I want to get paid more too.
Yeah, but
he did say in the conversation that he's like, yo, I pay for a lot of other things. I pay for all this stuff. That's all. David.
Did she quit? So she quit after this video, and
she quit
because of Hilo, right? Because of her show with Hilo, where they were talking about her Photoshop again, right? Isn't that what it was?
I do not know. I do not know.
I know that was the argument they did just have. It looks like she announced her quitting about 24 hours ago or so.
Right. I mean, like literally they had that argument live on that show. A few hours later, she went on and said, I'm out. On her channel. She's like, I just can't do it anymore. So on and so forth. It's a 20-minute long video of her talking about it. And she's like, yeah, it was just an argument that I had with, people, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? With Ethan and all that. And she was like, I understand that he's going to take the side of his crew and all that. I can't tell him to not have the crew side, etc. I mean, she was even in that piece, which we didn't play the whole clip, but within that same clip, she's arguing about, she's upset that she's not allowed to pick crew members. Like pick the members of the crew that work on the show. But here's the thing, I keep on saying, bruh, what do you mean? This is under his whole business. This is under his whole thing. If this was some separate thing, this would be a completely different conversation, but it's not.
So I found a little info. It looks like they recorded the show a couple days ago, and while it was in post-production, she was already planning on leaving at that point because of that interview. And once the video went live, that's when she announced on live that she was leaving. It sounds like she actually planned it beforehand during the post-production of the episode.
That she was going to leave the show.
Yeah, but she didn't tell anyone until
after Frenemies aired. But that's the thing. Like Noli said something else here. Power hungry and wants control. She is a narcissist. I could sit there and say, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I don't know her from a can of paint personally. I don't. But I like to say that these particular people are kind of, they're drama shows, they're drama channels. They survive off of having drama. So of course, having a conversation live on the show obviously is only going to bring in views to that last episode. And she'll be back. I'll be real. She's left the show before because of an argument that they had, and she stormed off. She'll be back. And you're right, Nur. She has millions. She does literally. If you look up her channels, she has like 2 different channels, if I'm correct. And a lot of it is, she's living in a multi-million-dollar home in LA. I mean, she's doing okay. She's doing okay. But she was one of those girls in the very, very beginning that figured out the formula of what was going to get views. So she's blonde. She's busty. She would wear a lot of low plunging shirts on her channel. Camera angled just in a way so you can see all of her décolletage. I mean, people ate it up. And she would say a lot of controversial things. There was one, I think people were losing their minds about her saying like, yeah, she has a pink Rolls Royce SUV, if I'm correct. I think it's something crazy like that. And it's pink. So yeah, she doing all right. But that's the thing. That's the thing though. Now you got me wanting to look at this photoshopping thing that you just posted. Let me see. Oh yeah. Yeah. But that's an old story.
Yeah.
Ain't that an old story about her photoshopping?
Yeah, like I said, they had a conversation about 5 years ago. It just came up again for some reason.
Here,
I don't know why.
Send it in the in this Skype real quick. I want to throw it up here on the show so that everyone can see what we're talking about. Hold on, guys. Let me know when you send it. But that's the thing. My only issue is it's when she goes from saying, talking about it live on the show and then turning it on ahead to something like she's victimized. I don't like that. That does not seem like it is a healthy conversation. And if she feels like something had happened, if she really truly feels like she's been bamboozled or messed with in some sort of way, then then you have that conversation after the cameras are rolling. Or you go and you call your man because she's in a relationship. She's with Gila's brother, by the way. So Ethan Klein's brother-in-law is her boyfriend. So you could go home and have that conversation and be fine. And be fine with it. You know what I'm saying? But here is the photoshopping that we're talking about. Bam. That's real talk.
It's the second most impressive Photoshop I've ever seen on a person. I'll send you the most impressive right now.
Pretty damn amazing. That is pretty damn amazing, bruh. That's amazing. Real talk. But she cleans up nice, though. I'm going to be real. She cleans up nice. She looks good. She does her makeup right and everything, face beat to the gods and all that stuff. She does all that stuff. She knows what she's doing. You know what I mean?
I just sent you this other photo because it does kind of capture the extent of how Photoshop is working right now. Because, you see how different she is. But there was a man in Japan that was successful, a 50-year-old man in Japan that successfully ran accounts for about a year that he was like a 16 I don't remember the age. It was a young girl around 20. So he made a lot of money showing Photoshop pictures of himself as a 20-year-old biker girl.
Bro,
even though he's a 50-year-old man.
Get ready for this, y'all. Bam. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's scary. That's scary.
It was a Twitter account that he had. Okay. But that's where he was pushing out the photos for a long time.
That's scary, y'all. Bruh, that's scary. I'm sorry. That stuff is scary to me. No one is safe. No single person is safe anymore. That's crazy. But yeah, so maybe Gila did have some conversations about the photoshopping and everything, and that's what it is. But at the same time, the conversation that we saw on some real stuff, that conversation didn't need to be had live on their show. Now, obviously, it's going to get a lot of views because everybody and their mom is going to want to see what the heck is going on. People are going to also assume that this is a ploy, that this is an attempt at trying to, what's the word? Get some views and get some traction to the show again. The show has always had traction, so I don't think that that's that. I think she literally, honestly, was on the show live having an argument with Ethan, and that's it. But I think it was not done in the right way. It was wrong time, wrong place, and wrong situation. And then I do not like how she tried to flip it around and make it seem like she's the victim. That's not something I'm cool with. I don't like that. You want to have an argument, you talk about it, and especially when it comes to business, because it's not personal, it's business. So talk about it, and that's it. Have a conversation with somebody and be real. Hear them out. You might end up agreeing to disagree, but at least you got to have a conversation and you be real with each other and then keep it moving. But if it's in black and white and you've already signed your freaking soul and blood on that dotted line, You wait for that contract to be over, and then you do a renegotiation. You don't talk about it live on the damn show. Y'all should know better. And also, it's on Ethan, too. Ethan could have easily said, can we talk about this later?
Yeah,
can we talk about this when we're not live? He could have said that. Go ahead.
I feel like the last segment, right when she got really mad at the end, he was basically goading her. I felt like maybe not at first he wasn't, but near the end he was just trying to, I think, poking at her still while he knew.
At the end, I think, I mean, obviously, at the end, I think that it was, I think he was just kind of like, bro, why does this always happen when we have pizza? He's like, we always fight when we have pizza. It's like we shouldn't be doing pizza days. Real talk. We shouldn't be doing this with pizza. I think he was trying to turn it on a light. Like, I think he was trying to put light into it so that they can kind of keep going with the show, or she wouldn't storm off or something like that. I honestly think that he really was trying to secure his bag, because without her, there is no Frenemies. People tune in not only just for Ethan, but also for her. People like her talking. People like how she, however you think, if you think she's crazy or not, people tune in for her. And she's bringing in her fan base, whereas he already has his fan base right there. So, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but at the same time, like I said, there are ways to approach something. There are ways to approach a conversation. And this is a perfect example of what not to do. You don't talk about these serious business matters live on the show. You just don't. But you can see this is somebody who does not have a business bone in their body. Because if they did know, then we would be. If she did know, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. But I think it's important that we see something like this, because this is not how it's done. Period. You don't talk about this stuff live on the show. But this is the same thing I was talking about with Joe Budden. Joe Budden went on his thing, exposed everybody's asses except for himself, self-righteous, all that stuff, said what he had to say, which he had some truths in what he said. There was parts of it that I did agree with, that we had in the conversation, but in the past conversation. But at the same time, it shows you how messy one can be when it comes to talking about business. Knowing when the right time to talk business and when knowing when the wrong time is to talk about business. That really does show you the measure of who they are as a businessman. You know what I mean? Or a business person. So, there it is. There it is, y'all. Just wanted to show you guys that piece. All right. Now, there is something else. We did talk about this, or actually, no. We got to go into our world news. I'm sorry, David. We got to go into world news, man. Hold on. Get you back up here. So we got to go into world news. David's got the briefing on what's going on in the world. What's up?
All right. So I'm going to start off in Australia. If you still got that photo I sent at the top of the Skype chat.
Yes, I do.
So this is a pretty new. The first discovery of the bones of this dinosaur was found in 2007. It's roughly 92 million years old, but it was just discovered in Australia, like I said, in 2007, in a village that only had 100 residents. They ended up digging the first bone out of a sheep station near the Australian town of Eromanga. But just recently, and this is why it's news right now, they've finished pulling out all of the bones from the area and analyzing it. And they ended up finding an entirely new dinosaur. It's they're calling it Cooper for now. That's his nickname. And it's the first time we found a dinosaur of this sort. It's from the Cretaceous period, which is the last period of dinosaurs. And it's unique to Australia. It's called a titanosaur because it's one of the largest in the world. And it's the largest dinosaur that's been found in Australia so far. And they named it Cooper, they named it Cooper, not Copper, because Cooperensis was the area the actual fossil was found in. So this should be showing off in the Australian Museum soon. It's one of the biggest out there.
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's hella dope.
All right. So for the rest of the world, okay. So in El Salvador, they're the first country to just recently adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. A majority of lawmakers approved a proposal from Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele. And this will allow Bitcoins to be used as money along with the US dollar throughout the country. The law states that all economic agents shall accept Bitcoin as a form of payment when it is offered by the purchaser of a good or service. It also says that tax payments can be managed with Bitcoin. So right now, they're starting to roll it out. There's not much use of it so far, but it is the first country in the world to legally recognize Bitcoin as a national tender. In Afghanistan, we just had, unfortunately, 10 people were killed and another 16 were injured in an armed attack of staff members from a British American charity that was focused on clearing landmines out of the country. So the Interior Ministry, Tariq Aryan, blamed the Taliban for this. However, the Taliban denied it. And that's pretty unusual. They claim attacks that they don't even have a part in. So, I mean, and also the Afghan government is corrupt. Generally, if the Taliban doesn't claim for it, though, they probably didn't have any involvement because they will claim, they often claim like an incident where the U.S. is fined that they killed like 40 Americans or whatever. So this suggests to me that Taliban was not involved in the attack because there's at least a dozen other terrorist groups that are active in Afghanistan right now. However, they're still investigating it, and so the Afghan government will be investigating it as well as they will have foreign aides from the UN. Another multinational incident has been occurring with pretty much drug shipments moving throughout the country and throughout the world. This investigation was led by the FBI, but it was ultimately the meeting was ultimately held in The Hague, where they revealed that they did an unprecedented blow to organized crime in countries around the world. The operation was known as Trojan Shield, and it led police to raids in 16 different nations. More than 800 suspects were arrested, and more than 32 tons of drugs, including cocaine, cannabis, amphetamines, and methamphetamines, were seized, along with 250 firearms, 55 luxury cars, and more than $148 million in cash and cryptocurrencies. In China, Beijing is accusing Washington of exhibiting paranoid delusion and Cold War mentality after the U.S. Senate passed a bill aimed at bolstering the position of American tech in competing with China, which was supported by the White House. The Foreign Affairs Committee of the National People's Congress in China, which is their parliament, blasted the U.S. legislation on Wednesday, accusing Washington of seeking to undermine the country's legitimate right to development through technology and economic couplings. They say that the legislation is full of Cold War mentality and ideological prejudice, and that they are expressing strong indignation and resolute opposition to the bill. The new legislation in the U.S., officially known as the U.S. Innovations and Competition Act, was passed by the Senate on Tuesday, 68-31. So it had a considerable amount of Democratic support. It would not have passed without it. And now the bill is heading to the House of Representatives. However, it looks like it's going to be passing through without much resistance within the U.S. legislation. All right. Also related to China, Japan and Australia have voiced serious concerns on Wednesday over reports of human rights abuses against the Uyghur and other Muslim minorities in China's far western region of Xinjiang. But Beijing dismissed the remarks as a malicious smear. Calls have grown from some Western nations to investigate if China's actions in Xinjiang amount to genocide, as the United States and parliaments in nations such as Britain and Canada have described China's policies. And Japan and Australia, in a joint statement, said that we share serious concerns about reporting human rights abuses against the Uyghur and other Muslim minorities in Xinjiang. We call on China to grant urgent, meaningful, and unfettered access to Xinjiang for independent international observers, including the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. And just to remind people, there is currently a fleet comprised of Japan, Australia, UK, US, and India in the South China Sea right now. This one is the United Nations is reporting on Myanmar, which is also called Burma. And the United Nations rights expert has warned of mass deaths from starvation, disease, and exposure in eastern Myanmar after brutal and indiscriminate attacks by the military, which forced tens of thousands of people to flee their homes in Kaya, which is a state within the nation. Earlier today, Tom Andrews, the UN Special Reporter for Myanmar, called for urgent international action, saying that attacks by the military, which took power after a February coup, were threatening the lives of many thousands of men, women, and children in Kaya or Karenni states. Let me be blunt, Andrews goes on to say. Mass death from starvation, disease, and exposure on a scale we have not yet seen since the February 1st coup could occur in Kaya state absent immediate action. And lastly, in the world today, in Syria, they are claiming that Israeli airstrikes struck central Syria late Tuesday, with the Syrian state news agency Sana reporting explosions in Damascus before adding that its air defenses had been activated against the Israelis' aggression. Israeli planes arrived from the Lebanese airspace, and the news agency added. It did not mention any reports of casualties or damage, but the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights told AFP news agency that at least 11 pro-government fighters were killed in the attacks that took place on late Tuesday. Their chief, Rami Abdul Rahman, goes on to say that at least 7 Army soldiers and 4 National Defense Forces militiamen were killed. Israel has basically confirmed that they performed the attacks, though they did not give any details. And that's it for the world in the news today.
All right, man. David, good job on that. I really do appreciate you giving us that world news brief. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got a few things that are going to be changing once we get to once we get back to the main channel on Friday. So be on the lookout for those things. You know, there's going to be little added things here and there. You know what I mean? You know, I appreciate David taking the time to put to do that thing. You know what I mean?
No problem.
I do appreciate it, man. You a beast with that ish, man. You know what I mean? This is why I love you, man. But we got to go into this left turn real quick because, you know, we you know, like I said, I'm trying to find that little balance of time to laugh and time to think and have conversations about different things. And then, of course, we got to go into our last conversation. Actually, you know what? We're going to go into this conversation first, and then we're going to leave with a good laugh. I think that's what we're going to do real quick, okay? So we got to go into the conversation, our last story of the day. Again, thank you, David, for the world briefing. I really do appreciate that. So here it is. We've talked about this man before. Armie Hammer checks into treatment center for sex, drugs, and alcohol. No, not rock and roll. Sex, drugs, and alcohol issues. I feel like drugs and alcohol would be under the same thing, but never mind. Never mind. So here it is. Armie Hammer has checked into a treatment center for sex, drugs, and alcohol issues, according to reports. The actor and father of 2 is said to have left the Cayman Islands late last month to check into a facility in Florida. The reports come after several women accused the 34-year-old star of abuse. In March, a woman named Effie claimed Armie had AR'd her in an ordeal lasting for 4 hours in 2017. Armie has since denied any wrongdoing, but went on to pull out of a number of high-profile projects, including a Broadway show called The Minutes and a rom-com with Jennifer Lopez, saying the latter was because he needed time to spend with his children amid these BS claims. Sources close to the actor say he reached out to his estranged wife, Elizabeth Chambers, who accompanied him to the treatment center along with their 2 children, where they are purportedly seen saying their goodbyes. So this man right here, Mr. Armie Hammer, has officially checked himself into rehab for sex, drugs, and alcohol. Now, there's a full-on story that's been going on with this Armie Hammer, where Effie, the girl, this woman that came out, basically she put out a whole bunch of posts online and all that, and she talked about how he would tie her up. There was a lot of crazy S&M stuff that was going on, and he would tie her up and basically perform these acts of S&M type stuff onto her for 4 hours. And that he has a very interesting, very elaborate sexual appetite. So the fact that he was sitting there saying he was denying all that stuff before, and now he's admitting himself, or he is now admitted himself into a rehab for said things, says that maybe the BS claims aren't so BS anymore. You know what I mean? So I wish him Godspeed. Real talk. Because on some real stuff, no one deserves to really be, no one really deserves to be messed up and dealing with any of their issues like that, you know, in the public eye. And if he clearly has an issue like this, then I wish him a speedy recovery, but also I wish he would get straight up and honest about what is really going on and fess up to the things that he has done if he really did those things. Clearly, he has a very interesting sexual appetite. He clearly has a appetite for drugs and alcohol as well. And the fact that he's going into rehab for sex as well, sex addiction, says a little something into the truth of what really happened between Effie and any of the other people that have stepped forward saying that they were victims as well. But David, what are you going to say?
Yeah, this is still one of those stories I wasn't too sure about in the past. It does look like Armie Hammer was engaged in some sort of sexual misconduct at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue of the 4-hour R-word thing, I'm still not entirely sure if that's true, because she's it came out to the press with it, but there haven't been any criminal or civil charges yet. And I mean, for that would easily be. You would easily be able to cover kidnapping, false imprisonment, and torture amongst those things if that actually happened to her. Now, I don't know. I don't know why you would go to the news but not try to get criminal not try to get criminal justice for it, or try to at least bring it public. So I'm kind of questionable about that particular claim. I don't know.
Okay, so I said this in the video before when we talked about this a long time ago. Shoot, this was a long time ago. This is when like Jack was still on the show with us. You know what I mean? Now, with this whole situation, here it is. Armie Hammer is not like a huge, I mean, yes, he's a name, but he's not selling out movies. He's not selling out movie theaters, right? He's not in those movies where everyone's like, Armie Hammer. He did The Lone Ranger, and then after that, he did a couple other movies, and then that was it. You see what I'm saying? He just kind of, he was there, and then he wasn't there anymore. So
he wasn't very good, really.
No, he's not great. He's not great. And, you know, like I said, but that has nothing to do with him as a human being, right. Whether he is talented or not. I think that he probably comes from a lot of money or a family of money, so he was able to get into the movie business and make some movies. And, yeah, he's a handsome fella. You know what I'm saying? So I could see why the camera would like him and everything. So he's doing his thing and all that. And for me, this is my theory. Okay, if you're not like some huge, like you're not Johnny Depp. Okay, you're not Brad Pitt. You're not some huge. You're not George Clooney. You're not Taye Diggs, Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? You're none of these big ass names. You haven't had a hit movie in a very, very long time. Okay, so when you look at something like this and suddenly these accusations come out and it comes out this way, something's up. It's not like he's Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, or any of these other huge names where accusations come out left and right. He has not done anything of substance as far as his work in a very long time. And then all of a sudden, these accusations come out. I believe him. Then you got people who are he's sitting here going, oh, they're BS, those claims are BS and all that. But he's still admitting himself into rehab, not only for drugs and alcohol, but also for sex. That says something too. So for me, I'm like, nah. As much as we can sit here and go, I don't know about Effie and all that. And that's what sucks about it nowadays, because as soon as somebody makes an accusation, as soon as he makes an accusation, or soon as somebody makes an accusation, we are instantly, nowadays, the culture is, we instantly question it, right? Because we're like, how much of it is actually real? How much of it is actually fake, right? And I hate that. I hate that thought. I hate that, like, as soon as somebody makes an accusation, we are quick to judge instead of going, okay. And I get it. We are in that world now, right? We're in that category and in that realm of the world now, where people are coming out left and right so that they can, some people are out here and they're evil and they just want to secure a bag whilst destroying a person's legacy, whilst trying to tarnish that person's name. And those are real, and that can happen. That could definitely happen. But at the same time, when you have somebody who's coming out and saying this, and they're going, hey, he did this to me for 4 hours. And, you know, a lot of things could be lost in translation as well. They could have been high as hell. They could have been Hunter Biden high, right? And just not even known what was going on, right? That's a possibility too, right? But at the same time, he's admitting himself into rehab for such thing. So it does make you wonder, did he maybe just push, did he maybe push the envelope a little bit too much? Did he go too far while he was really drunk and high and you know, full of lust? That's a possibility.
Like you said, this is just the way it is now. We, even though people do want to try and decide these ahead of time, like I said, I think it might not be true, and you think it might be true. Ultimately, that's why we have the courts and judges for. And of course, true. I want to say this out front: our courts are not perfect, and they make a lot of mistakes, and sexual crimes are hard to prove. But this is why this is why I say it's weird she didn't bring it up with criminal courts, because I think that you need to do that, because that's the only way you're going to get the clarification. At least everyone. Well, I mean, she knows what happened, but the only way other people are going to get the clarification is if there is a judge and jury that goes through all the evidence and decides. And even if I mean, obviously we don't always agree with the judges and courts. However, that it is a much higher degree of accuracy than whatever we decide to say, because they just have more evidence. They have more time to look at it. So that's why I think if she hasn't brought it up in the criminal charges yet, and it doesn't seem like she has, I think it's pretty critical that she does so, because there are a lot of crimes committed there, and he's free to go and commit them again. He can leave rehab whenever he wants to. True. Unless somebody else put him in there. If he went in on his own volition, he can pretty much leave whenever he wants. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible that incident happened. Incidents. Say it's impossible.
Incidents, yes. Because apparently there were other women that did step forward, or other people stepped forward and saying, yes, this is what he did to me too. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that every single person is telling the truth, but it does make you wonder, why would somebody go out of their way to expose something like this if it wasn't true? Then on top of that, the claims of cannibalism, etc., where he would sit there and go, oh, I want to take your, you know, take you and grill you on a barbecue you and eat you up and all that stuff.
It is a thing now, sadly. That's a big kink that's starting to come out. There's been contracts that have got shot down by the federal government in a few places where people have signed to agree to have intercourse or to eat the dead of the person that signs the other side of the contract. It's been successful in some other countries, and there's been at least, I think, 4 or 5 incidences in the U.S. where they had to shoot that down. And I think one of them actually went through. Like they were allowed to do that with the corpse. Yeah, it is.
That's nasty. Okay. And Jay the comedian said his defense attorney told him to go to rehab. Looks good in court, which is a very good possibility too. That's a good, as Siri just said, that would be my assumption, and that's a very good assumption too. You know what I mean? That, you know, when he goes to court, you know, he's like, well, he is rehabilitated. He went to rehab, so on and so forth. He's going into this. He realized what he has done. whatever. As you can see, he's a reformed man. He's a rehabilitated human being. And that's a possibility too, But like I said, only time will tell what happens with this going forward. But at the same time, I don't think that he's going to be headlining movies anytime soon with all this stuff circulating around him until he is vindicated or there's more proof that comes out that shows that he is innocent. It sucks because his name is now tarnished and everyone thinks he's a cannibal. But here's the thing, though. Speaking of cannibal, we need to look at this video. This is the last story of the day. And it is something that I think y'all need to see. Cause it is something else. Yeah. I'm just gonna play it because yeah, why not? Here you go.
Your family ate growing up that you didn't realize was really weird?
Okay, my family might take this one. Everybody in my family eats this, including my grandmother, my aunts, cousins, sisters, mom.
A little salt. I'm using onion salt, but you can use whatever. And a little bit of
ground beef.
My husband has to hide the ground beef when he makes hamburgers.
Because it grosses them out. It's disgusting, I know.
But it tastes good, and I probably have worms.
At least you acknowledge she probably got worms or something. Jeez.
Hold on. No. No, I can't. Okay. No. I can't do that one. I can't. I just can't do that one.
I feel you. Like my stomach's doing that thing to keep me from eating bad food, like raw meat.
Like that's disgusting. But here it is, because we missed the very beginning of it, so I'm going to play it one more time. Yes, we're going to play it one more time. Here we go.
What's the weird food that your family ate growing up that you didn't realize was really weird?
Okay, my family might take this one. Everybody in my family eats this, including my grandmother, my aunts, cousins, sisters, mom.
Listen to her voice.
I'm using onion salt.
What happened to her voice? Why did her voice go down like that? Why did her voice go down like this? What the hell is going on? But wait a second. Here we go.
You can use whatever. And a little bit of
ground beef.
Maybe she's sick from eating raw meat.
My husband has to hide
Her husband has to
ground
hide.
beef when he makes hamburgers.
Because it grosses them out. It's disgusting, I know.
But it tastes good, and I probably have worms.
Okay. First off, let me just say this. What's up with her voice, though? I feel like that's the worms talking through her body. I think that's what it is. When she says she got worms, I don't care. Bruh, who eats raw? Like, I get rare, you know what I'm saying? I get a temperature of a burger and you want yours rare. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But who goes out of their way to literally take it raw?
See, I wonder how much she actually does that, because I don't see how you could do that for too long without getting E. coli or salmonella and like getting seriously sick. Because that would just empty your entire stomach in several days. Like maybe, I don't know. I guess somebody could keep eating raw beef. I mean, it's also one thing I just want to point out. It's not the same as like a steak or whatever, which is just like a whole slab of meat, which is usually a little a lot of people eat it like not well done, partially rare or whatever. But
Ugh.
like when you're talking about ground beef, that's just like all kinds of meat and pieces of animals thrown into a grinder and comes out processed. And yeah, I mean that's why ground beef should always be cooked well done versus like steaks, because it does have a much higher incidences of salmon making you sick, basically, from all kinds of diseases.
I mean, it's all kinds of things because it's not only just one beef. It's multiple different types of things being ground up. You see what I'm saying? Like it's all ground up, like like it's different beefs being ground up and then put out onto a thing and then cellophaned out and shipped out to you to consume. People don't do this. The hell is wrong with this woman? Like, this is her sex demon. Her sex demon. Her sex demon's talking. Like, for me, it's that is the disgusting part where she's eating that thing, but it's the voice. It just hits different. It just straight up hits different. Why would her voice go start talking like this? Like, why did it go, hi, this is one of my family, my mother, my grandmother, and goes all this and we start consuming. What is that?
It's like his throat's trying to close itself so she can't stuff beef down it.
Bruh, that is
sounds like
disgusting. That is disgusting. Straight up disgusting. Human beings should not be consuming raw ground beef as a snack. She said also in the video, she said, my husband has to hide this from me when he wants to grill burgers. He has to hide it from her. Where does he hide it? That's what I want to know. Where does he hide it from her? I'm sure they only got 2 freezers. I'm sure. Or 1. Let's just say. She only got 1, maybe 2 if they're lucky. If they're living bad and bougie. You know what I'm saying? How does he hide this ish? Where do you hide beef from a full-on living zombie? That's what I'd like to know. How do you do it? Straight up. I'm telling you, she will be the one person that does not die. Watch. She'll be the one she dies, but then she'll be undead. I'm just telling you, aim for the head. That's all I'm saying. Because this is wrong. This is wrong. Now, I understand that everybody has their weird food that they eat that people may not understand kind of thing. But that is a problem. That is beyond weird. That is extremely dangerous and extremely unhealthy. Please do not do this. Please don't do this. Siri's saying this is funny because everybody else is getting nauseous and she's getting hungry. Don't get me wrong. Thinking about a burger that's fully cooked or, medium. For me, it's medium. Great. I love it. Yes, when I think about that, I can smell burgers on a grill right now. But not raw meat. She's taking seasoned salt and just, you know what I mean? And then just shoving it down her throat.
I mean, I feel like
I can't do
think
it.
of like for sushi, for instance, like especially if you go to a real place where they have like real raw fish or whatever,
Can't do it.
like they have all kinds of things they have to do to make sure that's safe to eat. Like it can only be like a single cut. You can't be grinding up all this kinds of meat unless it's tuna actually. But the other ones you can't grind up. They have to be a pure piece of meat. It has to be kept a certain temperature the whole time. The animal has to be checked for diseases before it's even cut up by the meat packer. So like there are incidences of people eating raw foods and that are common, but you can just see by how differently it's handled that how unsafe it is to eat raw beef, because like there's so many guidelines to having raw sushi in your place that requires just like constant ice underneath them and all kinds of things. You have to keep them at a certain temperature. Like even then, people still sometimes get sick from otherwise well-made sushi. Like just eating raw beef everywhere. That like it's not to say. It's not to say that's. I mean, you have so many different parts of animals in there that the E. coli and the salmonella is just going to be spreading so quickly through your body. And I'm not really sure how she can do this so long without getting food poisoning.
It all goes down to just, I don't know. She must be superhuman. Real talk. She must be full on superhuman because I personally could not do that. Real talk. I personally could not do it. I would literally be sick. I would be sick personally. You know what I mean? And it really, at the end of the day, has nothing to do with, like, you know, you could get E. coli, you could get, Jasmine said, mad cow disease. And honestly, it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with how that meat is ground. You know what I mean? Has nothing to do with that. It's not like, oh, you know, the way this is and the way that is and blah, blah, blah. Nah. You know, how it's put together. No. You have to cook that stuff. You really do. Regardless of what you think, you got to make sure you cook your ground beef. Please don't do that. Because, you know, there's all these other people out here that do really stupid stuff like Tide Pod challenges and stuff. Remember that thing where people were getting sick and everything? Real talk. People are idiots. And somebody's going to see that on TikTok and go, I shouldn't try that. And I'm telling you, don't do it. You're going to be, it's going to be a huge, huge mistake. Real talk.
There's just so many diseases you can get from it. Like, there's all kinds of worms specific to each type of meat too. Like, there's specific worms you get from raw pork, specific worms you get from beef, and we know what they are. We have lists of them.
It's disgusting. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Now the thing is oysters is different. I understand oysters eating oysters raw. This is beef though. This is beef. You know, it's also how it's processed. You know how how the meat is processed. You know, I mean, you can eat salmon raw. You could literally snatch the fish out of the water and bite right into the damn thing. Salmon. You know, there's certain fish and animals of the sea, under the sea, that you can eat raw. You can. But not ground beef. And it has nothing to do with the grinding. Speaking of grinding.
So, I was going to say that.
Just get it. He did. Oh yeah, I had to do it one last time. I am so sorry. One last time for the one time. But anyway, David, what were you going to say real quick before we wrap it up?
I was going to say, also, like, the incidences with, like, oysters and fish are generally safer to eat than those because the brine has largely killed those things, and they're frozen in transport. So that's why the freezing process, along with the brine, keeps most parasites out of oysters and fish, and that's why it's generally safer to eat those raw. I mean, the FDA has huge studies on these. You can always read through them. It's pretty interesting to see how many worms and stuff you can get from certain types of meat.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot. So you definitely need to look at what meats carry what diseases. And that's why that's why seafood and stuff is acceptable by both the FDA and CDC and other agencies as raw food, because generally the freezing and the brine kills everything inside. Whereas with with like beef, pork, and all of that, diseases usually just keep growing. So that's where the smells usually come from when the meat goes bad. At that point, you're just smelling salmonella or E. coli or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, their gas coming off of it. And that's why meat smells bad. It goes bad. It's because of the specific diseases moving through it, as well as worms, of course. I think trachea something is like the most common worms in pork, for instance, which has infected dogs and humans, of course, that have eaten raw meats in the past.
Yeah,
but
can't do it.
I mean, there's always a risk, even with like a medium steak or something. Like I eat medium steaks, but there is an increased risk of food poisoning from those things.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna cook, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say generally, meats, you can't consider all meats the same when it comes to being raw. That's just kind of the way it works out. Especially, you also have to consider local sicknesses that the animals have, because especially with pork, a lot of things that affect pigs. This is where we get a lot of diseases are very transmittable to humans, and it's the same reason you can't. I mean, like, eating people is wrong, but medically speaking, it's the same reason you shouldn't eat humans, because so many of the diseases will just pass directly to you without any sort of difficulty. So from eating. Just because pigs are strangely close to us in terms of what their meat is, we're more able to get sick from them. But they do probably taste more like people than anything else because of that meat, because of their skin and meat.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird, but it is the way it is.
Well, I mean, thank you for all that information. Real talk. I do appreciate you giving in that information. Because that is something that we do, need to know. But the fact that we're even entertaining it is freaking hilarious to me. Real talk, And like I said, all I want to know is, where's the beef? Where the beef? I'm telling you, where's the beef? Where's the beef? You're welcome, everybody. Just some ridiculousness. Anyway, that is a real video. And no, that's not me, Kiki of 5. Hell is wrong with you. Hell is wrong with you. How dare you even ask me that question? How dare you? I'm a classy dude. All right? I'm bad and bougie. Okay? But anyway, that's the show, everybody. I really do appreciate everybody for being on today and tuning in and all that. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below. That would really be appreciated. Hit that subscribe button as well right here on the Pascal Show clips, and go over to the Pascal Show main channel and crush that subscribe over there as well. Man, Roberta, you need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Yeah, that was me caught dry humping some random chick in a club. The hell? You know what I mean? Oh my God. Anyway, David, thank you so much for being on today. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it was a fun show today.
Yeah, fun. Trying to have keep it in the light. We need to laugh more often, y'all. We need to laugh. And of course, we still got to bring in the conversations and the real talks and all that stuff. But we also got to laugh. Let us laugh again. You know what I mean? Let us laugh again. Please. It's my birthday month, so we got to laugh this month. Dagnabbit. Anyway, I appreciate everybody for being on. I love all you. I love you, Kiki of 5 as well. I love all you guys. And shout out to all the mods. I really want to say that really quick as well. You guys kick ass and you guys are just kicking ass and taking names. I really do appreciate you all. And to the fam, I really do appreciate all you guys that come in and chat on the show all the time. Anyway, it is time to get going. All right. Much love to all of you. Okay. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Wishing you love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.